Well, Ravi, one lawmaker called it political theater. Another says deploying the National Guard is against the law. And Mayor Johnson says no one in Chicago is asking for the help. The response follows President Trump calling both the mayor and the governor incompetent. He did it to control protesters in Los Angeles, and now President Trump is deploying the National Guard to Washington, D.C. to combat crime, a job he claims the police can no longer handle.
If we need to, we're going to do the same thing in Chicago, which is a disaster. We have a mayor there who's totally incompetent. He's an incompetent man.
Mayor Brandon Johnson says there is no need for the National Guard. Similar to D.C., violent crime is down in Chicago.
It would destabilize our city, quite frankly. No one in the city of Chicago, residents that I've spoken to, the people of this city, no one has ever asked for the National Guard.
Johnson says if Trump really wants to help, he would not have cut $800 million in violence prevention programs in his big policy bill. And while the president criticized Johnson, he gave Governor Pritzker a good dose of it as well.
Pritzker's an incompetent. His family threw him out of the business, and he ran for governor. And now I understand he wants to be president. But I noticed he lost a little weight, so maybe he has a chance.
I guess I should say thank you for the compliment.
Well, Pritzker says he's not ruling out a run for president. His focus now is running for a third term as Illinois governor. He says if the president sends the National Guard to Chicago, it will immediately be fought in court because Pritzker says it violates federal law.
It's not surprising to me that he suggests violating the law. He's done it many times and been convicted of it 34 times.
Meantime, Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says the threat of sending the National Guard here is nothing more than political theater.
It's a typical move by this president to create chaos and uncertainty and to draw the attention from other issues like Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, it may violate federal law to send the National Guard to Chicago. It is legal to send the troops to Washington, D.C. under the D.C. Home Rule Act of 1973. But the law says after 30 days, Congress must approve a continued takeover.
Immigrant community reacting following a controversial move from Governor Joe Lombardo. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight at 11 o'clock. I'm Sasha Loftus. His administration officially authorizing the deployment of the Nevada National Guard to assist with ICE operations. 8 News Now reporter Jessamine Wolk joins us live in the newsroom tonight, where she's breaking down how far this support will extend, as well as the timeline of the enforcement. Jessamine.
Sasha, according to Governor Lombardo's office, of the approximately 4,500 Nevada National Guardsmen, the request is calling for up to 35 of them to be dedicated to this specific immigration mission. In the announcement, the governor's office said, quote, each guardsman has volunteered, demonstrating their readiness to serve.
Their patriotism, or you're preying on younger soldiers that join because they want to get money for school. So there's a lot that goes into play for people that volunteer for a mission like this.
A decision sparking backlash among some in the immigrant community. One of those, veteran Manuel Santa Maria. As former military, he believes the soldiers volunteering to help ICE operations were likely intrigued by the financial incentives.
They wouldn't mind being on orders and getting paid a consistent salary with benefits. So I could understand that. But at the same time, it also, again, it makes me feel sad that they're willing to volunteer for this mission, knowing the implications of what they're volunteering to do.
According to the governor's office, members will not be in contact directly with detainees, saying, quote, this effort is centered on vital clerical, administrative, and logistical support, ensuring there will be no direct contact with detainees, no law enforcement duties, and no weapons involved.
The Nevada National Guard being used for immigration enforcement in any way is going to continue to increase fear in our community.
Democratic Assembly member for Clark County District 3, Selena Torres Fawcett, condemning the decision. She tells me she and the Nevada Latino Legislative Caucus are actively reaching out to Lombardo's office with their frustrations.
Just the other day, there were uniformed National Guardsmen out in my community, and I had neighbors reaching out to be concerned. And that's the type of fear that is going to continue to permeate in our community. There's going to continue to be a distrust in law enforcement. There's going to be a distrust in our military.
The governor's office pointing out that the dedicated soldiers will only represent less than 1% of the Nevada National Guard, calling it a, quote, mere fraction. But veteran Santa Maria says to him, even that's too much, and believes their time could be allocated in better ways.
Now, they could be out there handing out food at food pantries, right? If they can be used for, emergency things on the strip or security for whatever reason, a big event or something like that. But this is not a good use for the National Guard.
Now, the governor's team did list some examples of expected duties. The dedicated members assisting in immigration enforcement will help with logistics like filling out forms, bookkeeping, and answering calls. The assignment will last through November 15th of this year. Live from the newsroom, Jessamine Walk, 8 News Now. Sasha, back to you.
Here at 5, reports of a shooting during an attempted immigration arrest in San Bernardino. We want to thank you for joining us. I'm Jonathan Gonzalez.
I'm Kathy Vara. The man agents were trying to arrest told us he drove off after they shot at his car and hid inside his home. And then neighbors began protesting against the agents outside of the home.
Our Amber Frias joins us live now from San Bernardino with the very latest on this. Amber.
Hey, Jonathan, Kathy, I was able to speak with this man. He's still shaken, and so is his family. But he says more than anything, he's angry and frustrated that something like this happened to him. Now, he tells me he was inside his truck with his son and his son-in-law. He says they were working. They were delivering party supplies when a car, an unmarked car with masked men, tried to pull him over. As you mentioned, he refused to get off the car once they asked him to, and that's when these masked men started shooting at his truck. And we have video of what it looked like from the perspective of this family. This family tells me the car was shot at 3 times, shattering some of the windows. No one was injured. The family says they then decided to drive home. Once at home, they say they called San Bernardino PD to file a police report. We've tried reaching San Bernardino PD multiple times, but have not heard back from them. So we arrived at the family home a few hours after the attack. Dozens of community members had gathered outside. Federal agents were also there, and San Bernardino police officers. By late afternoon, all of them were gone, and nobody involved in this morning's shooting had been arrested. Now, we did speak to the father and his son-in-law on camera, and I will have that for you coming up at 6. But I do want to reiterate that we've worked to confirm this information with San Bernardino police, but have not heard back from them all day. We've also reached out to DHS, but no answers from them yet. Reporting live from San Bernardino, Amber Frias, NBC4 News.
Talk about the National Guard because, again, they're very visible. It's the FBI, the DEA, it's ICE that are actually out in the communities that are making arrests. And so far, the White House says more than 300 on their way to 400 arrests from federal agents alone since this operation began. So, Nicole, as we continue to cover this, as we have all last week and again today, we're trying to get a sense of what the strategy is specifically from the White House, why certain teams are put where, and really what the end goal is as well.
Dad, what was the name on this guy? Chapin.
The military is here, shawty. The military is here. They on the streets. The military is here. The military really here, shawty. Y'all thought life was a joke. Y'all think
the level of stupidity is incredible. I'm telling you, I used to use the word incompetent. Now I just call them stupid. I went to an Ivy League school. I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words. But there's no better word than stupid.
Yeah. Yo, there's a rat moving around. Look at these niggas. They got the choppers out. Whoa. They got that shit crazy, man. Hey, you gotta be clean. Squeaky clean. No, you can't. And congratulations on that MTA, man. Word, man. Love you, my nigga.